What is the greatest movie of all time? Now, when I ask you that, there are a few options that come to mind, like Citizen Kane, Schindler's List, Shawshank Redemption, or The Godfather, all of which have cemented themselves highly in history. But no, none of those movies are good enough. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but not the best. So what? What, ladies and gentlemen, is the true greatest movie of all time? I'll tell you what. It is none other than The Croods.
It's a fucking masterpiece!
Yes, The Croods. Released back in 2013, we as a species were blessed by this holy grail sent by the Lord above. This movie is the best piece of cinema to ever exist, and nothing has come close ever since. But I can already hear you. Why? Why is Croods so good? Well, it comes down to one thing. In particular, that thing that makes The Croods a masterpiece. It's none other than Grug. Now, if you don't know who Grug is, first off, where have you been for the past 11 years? Also, how could you not know who Grug is? Grug is the greatest creation in film history. Dare I even say, he's a cinematic icon. I would be absolutely gobsmacked if you were to go up to a random person right now and them to not know who Grug is in depth. Go on, do it now. Go ask a random person who Grug is, and if they don't respond with an in-depth analysis of who Grug is as a character, they're not human. They're completely... They're not even human. They're primitive. Ew. Now, I know I don't need to explain it, but I will anyways. Grug is the greatest character in fiction. He's better than Godzilla, he's better than Batman, he's better than every single Disney character combined. Now, what makes Grug so good? Well, first off, let's start with who plays him. None other than Nicolas Cage. Already, that puts it above these movies. Like, already, it's greater than these movies. But Nicolas Cage is the greatest. He once beat up a bunch of robots without breaking a sweat. He once turned into Dracula just because he felt like it. And once turned his body into flames because he can. And he did this all on his own. That's right. There was no CGI. There was no stunt doubles. That is really Nicolas Cage himself setting his skeleton on fire. The dedication, it's beautiful. So pairing this holy miracle with a primal caveman, and you get possibly the best thing to ever exist, period. Let's list off some of the things that make Grug so great. First off, he's a dad. Grug is incredible. He can reproduce asexually. Now, I know you might be wondering, but Pinking, doesn't he have a wife? Yes he does. Well done. But Grug is so manly, he doesn't need her. After all, none of his kids share any resemblance to their mother.
You are not!
Which scientifically just proves Grug produced them on his own. Now, reproducing aside, Grug is also a good dad. He understands the need to keep his family safe, even if it comes down to the cost of his family being suffocated under mountains of rubble. He'll do that anyways because he's just that good of a dad. And how can I forget, there is evidence in this movie that Grug is actually the strongest being in the known universe. All I'm saying is, he could beat Goku. Now, what is this evidence? Well, you have to look at this scene in the tar pit. Grug effortlessly frees his daughter's love interest. No, he didn't free himself also, because you see, Grug is the greatest. He can never be trapped. Grug simply allowed himself to sink into the tar so he could free his daughter's love interest. Grug is never in any real danger now. Like, you have to be stupid to think that. Oh, what's that? Not convinced. Not convinced, I hear you say. Well, how about this? A volcanic ash cloud is approaching in this scene. Grug is outnumbered and outgunned, and he must lift this giant ribcage full of creatures in order to survive. And guess what? He does exactly that. He's able to easily lift the ribcage and be blasted by a pyroclastic flow that killed off the dinosaurs. I think, maybe. Yes, it did. Grug is just indestructible. Some might even say he's in. Grug is a father, a strong man, a survivor, and an inventor. I didn't even mention he's an inventor. Grug is so many things. No, Grug is everything. Before the dawn of time itself, which was before 2013, and all the way to the end of the world, Grug will remain. Because Grug is a true role model, a true hero. I probably don't need to tell you this, but this is why Grug is a cinematic icon. Oh yeah, and Barry B. Benz is a close second.